Nick Guzman, I'm going to call on you as the spokesperson from your group. When we talk about habits, if there was one person or a couple people that you heard a habit that they were going to change in just January, what was it? What'd you hear from your group, bro?
And mainly in our group, a lot of people focused on like more personal improvement kind of stuff. Like as far as one person brought up daily devotion, she's growing her faith, and she wants to make sure that's the root and her foundation of, where she, stems everything from. So that was one of the things that was shared. Another thing that was shared was a personal habit improvement. Just as far as just kind of maintaining certain pleasures, and I guess you could say, from, I mean, I don't even know how to sugarcoat it, from like drinking and things like that. You know what I mean? So a lot of things that was talked about was a lot of personal improvement stuff. I had shared more about, like, as far as if there was one habit that could pertain to business, it's just making sure tracking, by week, exactly how I used to do at the very, very beginning. Because I know for myself, I've definitely fallen off of that track big time this year. Even though the 2023 was an incredible year, that's definitely something I need to make sure that I hammer in on. So it was a combination of personal improvement, personal growth, and strategies to make sure that we're tracking our business efficiently from the get go, from day one. So that was the first thing that we discussed.
God, I love that, Nick, because at the end of the day, each of you are running your own corporation. I don't care if you've sold one home or if you've sold 50 homes, each of you are running a corporation. So just as us as a company, we look at year over year trends. We look at attrition. We look at how many agents are producing, what offices are producing, what offices are profitable, what office is the most profitable. We're constantly looking at the data because here's the thing. The data tells the story. The data tells the story. And if you're not tracking it, it's really hard to look at your story and know, okay, chapter 6 is where I saw things start to grow. Chapter 9 is where I saw a decrease, but look at my activities and my habits actually decreased in that month as well. So the data tells the story. So Nick, I'm so glad that you said this. I don't care if it's a whiteboard. I don't care if it's a freaking composition book or if it's an actual tracking system. Find a way to track your business so you can forecast, you can look at your business in completely different ways. So good stuff. And then Nick, what was one thing that you heard from the scripting about calling our database that you felt was like, ooh, I can put that, or something that you already use or are gonna use?
Well, I think the main thing that everybody talks about right now is obviously what's getting ready to happen in 2024 as far as the rates being dropped and things like that. But I also feel that's going to be, I think that if that's the only conversation that somebody's going to have, it's going to be more of a, like, that's what everybody's going to talk about, and I kind of feel like when it comes to engaging in these conversations with past clients, or somebody that's been on the fence, or somebody inside of your CRM, I think the most valuable thing that anybody could share are stories. So for myself, what I'm going to be doing is just sharing two personal testimonies of myself, just that happened in the last few weeks. I just got two under contract, both buyers. One buyer in Oakland, I was able to get the property $50,000 under asking price. On top of it, I was able to get the seller to credit back $10,000. Obviously, the rate probably is at a high point, but it was an opportunity that opened up that we just couldn't pass on. And then another story was that I just got into contract yesterday in San Francisco for another property, $40,000 under asking price. So the reason why I share that is because I feel like it's the power of testimonies that need to be shared. Because if you're just going to be calling people up and just talking about rates dropping and all this kind of stuff, all the realtors are doing that. And if you're a new realtor and haven't closed a deal, then you need to lean on somebody else's stories, somebody else's testimonies. So if you don't have a personal story yet, all you have to really say is like, hey, you just tailor the conversation in a different way and just say, hey, you know what? It's interesting is because one of my team members inside of my office, this is exactly what just happened to them. And I share that because, when I'm sharing these testimonies with my personal clients, or even if you do, it's good. It is important to talk about what can happen when the rates come down. But what people need to also understand is when that happens, competition is definitely going to come back on the scene. It doesn't even matter if it drops 1 point or 1.5%. You're going to see a flood of buyers come back out. Competition is going to go back up. And all of this is important because if I combine that story about the rates dropping along with testimonies, now it's just almost I have the perfect match that glues together and sticks together when I convey the conversation to a past client or somebody sitting on the fence. So I think that's super important because I know when it's my goal, when I'm speaking with somebody, I don't want to just talk to them about facts. I want to instill fear of loss, you know? So I feel like, you know, that's kind of, going to be very important because fear of loss is a more powerful motivator than anticipation of gain. So, you know, that's kind of like what we talked about.